ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be doing another game review. This game featured Grandmaster Mikhail Tal and Vladimir Akopian, something like that. I'm not sure that's how it's read, but it's somewhere between those Akopian or something like that. And this game was played in 1992, Barcelona, Spain. So in this game, Tal was playing as white and Vladimir was playing as black. Mikhail Tal started with the king's pawn opening, the most common move, pawn to e4. Then Vladimir responded with the Sicilian defense, pawn to c5. Then Tal played knight to f3. There's still the opening. Then Vladimir played the old Sicilian defense, or the old variation, knight to c6. Then Tal responded with the England game, or the English game, playing bishop to b5. Then Vladimir responded with pawn to d6. Then Tal castled the king side. Vladimir played bishop to d7. This is called the canal attack. It's another variation of the Sicilian defense. This is called the canal attack. Then Mikhail Tal played rook to e1, taking that file. It's also a book move, of course. Not like a book move is always a good move. And yeah, it's a good move, a book move, of course. Then Vladimir played knight to f6. Then Tal played pawn to c3. Then Vladimir attacked the bishop on b5, looking to check what's the idea of the bishop being there. Is it there to take the knight, or is it there to just to threaten that diagonal? Then bishop pushed back to a4. Then Vladimir pushed pawn to c4. Mikhail Tal played 2 squares, pawn to d4. Then Vladimir played the en passant, capturing the pawn. Then Tal played bishop to g5, attacking the knight on f6, looking to double up the pawns, because the pawns are the only pieces that are protecting the knight. Tal was looking to double up the pawns, which Vladimir pushed the king's pawn to e6, pinning himself in the process. Then Tal continued playing queen to d3. Then Vladimir played bishop to e7, and pinning himself from the bishop. Then Tal took the knight with the bishop. Then Vladimir took back with the g pawn, taking the bishop. Then Tal took the other knight with the bishop. Then Vladimir took back with his own bishop. He didn't take with his pawn this time. He took back with his own bishop. Then Tal played pawn to c4. Then Vladimir castled the king's side. Then Tal played knight to c3. Then Vladimir played king to h8. And then Tal centralized all his rooks, playing the a rook to d1. This is a great play, centralizing all your rooks. That's the idea of, after you have opened up, or you completed your opening, or after connecting your rooks, you have to centralize your rooks so they can help, or they can better your attack. Then Vladimir played rook to g8. Then Tal played queen to e3, which is an inaccuracy, but the idea was to open up the file open up the rook file, or the queen file. Then Vladimir played queen to f8. Tal played knight to d4. Then Vladimir played rook to c8. Then Tal played pawn to f4. Then Vladimir played bishop to d7, going back. Then Tal played pawn to b3. In this position, game is still even, still in the center. They're just positioning their pieces. No one is attacking. And so I'm taking like pawn to d6, bishop to, that's why I'm taking like that. There's no attacks yet. Then Tal played knight to f3. Then Vladimir played pawn to b5, looking to attacking the pawn on c4. Then Tal played queen to a7, attacking the bishop on the d7 square. Then Vladimir played bishop to c7, blocking the queen from attacking the bishop, which is an inaccuracy, but it's still not the bad move. It helps the bishop, of course, or it helps the player. Then Mikhail Tal captured the pawn, the free pawn, of course. Then Vladimir captured the pawn that he was attacking earlier. Then Tal ignored the pawn and pushed forward to b4. Then Vladimir played queen to g7, looking to play checkmate. Then Tal played pawn to g3, removing the checkmate threat. Then Vladimir played pawn to d5, which Tal accepted the pawn with the pawn on the e file. Then Vladimir captured the pawn. Of course, the pawn can capture the pawn with the bishop on f4, because the pawn cannot take back because it's pinned to the king. So Tal moved the king to f2. And in this position, the pawn can be captured. Then Vladimir played this. He missed this move. It's very hard to miss. Even me in this position, I would have missed this move because I'm using a computer. Of course, I'm gonna see the move. But even me, if I was playing in the game, I'll totally miss this move. It's a very hidden move, or this move, but it's also dangerous. In this position, Vladimir should have captured the pawn, this pawn here, on d5. As you see, that's a brilliant move. The idea is that if the pawn captures the bishop, it's a blunder. After that, the queen can play here on g2 with a check. Then if the king moves, that's the only square. Then then you'll play here. Then the game here, the game is actually technically over. So that was the idea of playing the pawn there. But let's go back to this point. Where was that position? Kind of forgot. Oh, it was here. Yeah. So Vladimir used that sequence of moves, but that was actually a fantastic move. That the pawn capturing there. That was a brilliant move. So let's continue. Then, of course, let's keep here and go to where we. Of course, Tal captured the bishop. Then the reason of opening up that diagonal was to capture the knight after the bishop was captured. So Vladimir captured the knight with the queen to c3. Then Mikhail Tal played queen to d6, which is a great move. This move will benefit him in the future. Not in the future, after this move, it will benefit Tal for playing queen to d6. And then this is the best move, of course, bishop to a4, attacking the rook. The rook has to move now. Then the rook moves to d4. That's also the best move. Then Vladimir played the rook to g7, which I don't understand the reason of playing that move. He should have maybe played another move that better his position, but that move is just a mistake and doesn't benefit him anyhow. So Tal, of course, captured the pawn on e6. Then Vladimir played bishop to c6, attacking the knight there. And then Mikhail Tal played knight to g5. Then Vladimir captured the knight with the rook. This move will have worked if the queen was not in that square, or if the queen was not in the d6 square. This move will have totally worked. Let me explain the move for you. When I say if the queen was not in that square, but this move would have totally worked, but now it doesn't work because the queen is that square. If you can find what I mean when if the queen was not that square, that move would have totally. Once I said before, this move, the queen move to d6 actually benefited Tal. This is why I meant. This is what I meant. This move actually benefited him because the queen now can play a check. It cannot, because now Valdemar is threatening checkmate, as you can see that. But now Tel has an advantage of playing check and capturing the rook. Now he can play check. Then now the rook has to go back because the rook was under threat. But that move would have totally worked. That move of capturing you would have won the knight if the queen was not on that square. If you can see that, you can pause the video there, then solve it yourself if the queen was not on the square. After rook played g7, covering the check, Tal then played this great move, knight to d8 with a check. Now he's winning the queen, of course. Then Tal won a queen. Now then Tal is winning the game. Then Valdemar played pawn to f6, which is an inaccuracy that's gonna hurt him in the future. Should have captured that pawn, because after capturing that pawn, there's actually no threat. The pawn cannot be captured because the pawn can be only captured by the rook, but that actually saves him from that pawn, because that pawn will cause him a very dangerous mate, or is gonna be a big problem. But he was trying to unpin himself, so he played pawn to f6. Then Tal played pawn to e7. As I said, that pawn is very dangerous, gonna bring him very tremendous pressure. So he has to move to a8. Then Tal captured the pawn. Hence, that means that pawn move was pointless because he's still pinned. The queen can actually capture that pawn, and now he's still pinned. So after that, Vladimir played bishop to e4. Then Tal played rook to g1. After this move, it's actually mate in 5. The game is actually over, but he continued playing. He probably didn't see that he was being mated in 5. He took the pawn on a2 with a check, and the king moved to e1. Then at this position, he kind of resigned because he saw that there was nothing he can do because it's mate in 3. The best move is to play rook here, because if you play rook in another position, the pawn here. Let's take to play rook back. Can capture here with a checkmate. So this was the best move. Then after of course Tal will have captured the rook. Then the game will have been over because his rook cannot move, and after the capturing of the rook, the only move played is just mate. Or maybe he would have tried to save himself. I don't know. I don't see him saving himself because it's made into. So that's how the game ended. I don't know what I'm trying to explain because it's made into. That's how the game ended. That's how Mikhail Tal played. That's how he beat Vladimir. This was actually his last recorded game. May his soul continue to rest in peace. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, share, and until we see each other again. Bye bye.